Can you imagine one entrepreneur launching their ads literally a couple of days ago and already seeing a return on their investment within literal days? That's what we're going to talk about, because that's the life my client Edwina is having right now with her course that she just launched. Now, I wrote the sales page copy and the email funnel. We worked together on the strategy, and let me tell you, this funnel is about to pay her all year long. So my client from about a month ago messages me about last Thursday, and she's like, hey, it's about to go live, this project we were working on. Literally by Saturday night, she is amazed. She's like, whoa, hold on. I already made back just under $1,000 in 2 days from this project that we worked on together. Now, let's run this back a little bit, because I need to tell you the context behind this client, how she found me, how we work together, and what that looks like, just in case that you are an inquiring mind that wants to know, okay? So Edwina, she is a 5-year entrepreneur. She owns a marketing agency that operates in both Brazil and America. I thought this was so cool because, I also run a marketing firm that operates in both America and Mauritius, okay? So her focus is on ads. All of her clients are typically e-commerce founders, beauty, fashion, that type of thing. My clients tend to be service providers, other marketing agencies, finance, tech, real estate, people like that who are offering some type of service. So she comes to me and she's like, I've been watching you on Instagram for so long. I know we've been following each other, and I think it's time that we work together because I need your help. I've seen your portfolio, I've studied your website, and the way that you write copy is so good. But I have a problem. Edwina's issue was that she did not know how to launch this product at first, because she noticed changes in the market in her business. She noticed clients were not wanting ads anymore. She noticed clients didn't have as much of a, should I say, knowledge base to understand how ads function. So she understood and started to realize, okay, I have to go back to the basics here and offer something that's a little bit lower ticket. $200, $300, that's low ticket compared to what a service provider actually offers for their true services. And so we're on the phone, we're on the kickoff call, and we're doing strategy during the first kickoff call. This is the email marketing audit, free session, 45 minutes. We're talking strategy all ready for this launch. And she's like, okay, give me 2 or 3 weeks. Let me film this content. I got to finish up the product for the course. Like the product actually has to be done in order for us to sell it, okay? And so she finished it up. She writes back to me on Instagram. She's like, hey, I'm ready. Let's work together. Invoice paid, $3,500 done. That's fantastic. Now, here's what we came up with. I said, you're going to need a sales page that's 7 to 10 pages long, okay? You're also going to need an email sales sequence that's 12 to 15 emails long, so that we have the pre-marketing, the launch marketing, and then the follow-up or post-marketing for that launch. Now, I'm about to read you some of this sales page, and your mind is going to be blown, because I want you to let me know if you have ever seen copy like this. What I really love about Edwina and about working with other marketing consultants, marketing agencies over the years, is that they understand marketing. It's not a hard sell. They understand, hey, this is what it takes to get clients. I know I'm gonna have to launch this funnel and continually launch it. I know that I'm gonna need emails. I know that I'm gonna need a sales page that's not written by ChatGPT, but written by an actual human. These are serious entrepreneurs, serious stakeholders, serious people that make multi-6 figures and 7 figures. They're not at the bottom of the totem pole like other newer entrepreneurs who are like, hey, I just want to ChatGPT my way to sales, and then they end up messing up their brand. So without further ado, let's read some of this sales page, shall we? Let's begin with our hook. I always teach my clients our hook is our most important piece on the sales page, because this tells us whether somebody's going to read the rest of the page or not. If it sounds too generic, if it sounds like ChatGPT, if it sounds too passive, guess what? The rest of the page doesn't get read. You automatically get exited out. They're not even going to look at your offers that you spent all this time on. So our hook is stop tying cash into inventory, start building a sustainable empire. The next phrase is the MVP path for new entrepreneurs who need clarity, cash flow, and proof of concept before scaling. This is where guesswork ends. Learn the MVP method. Now we're going into our storyline, our next pain point storyline. This is how I write every sales page. There's literally a formula that I have in my Notion dashboard that I use because you want to use a tried and true scientific, a little bit artsy formula for your sales page copy. So it says most new founders lock up their budget in products, photos, websites, and hope it sells. MVP flips that. Right now, you're feeling confused, frustrated, and stressed to the max about the amount of capital you're wasting on new shoes, bags, and an endless product supply. Pause. So what we're seeing right here, if you are familiar with my methods, then you will understand that when I said they are confused, frustrated, and stressed, how did we get that language? When we did our second kickoff call and went over the 20 question framework, that's one of the direct questions that I ask. What are 3 emotions somebody feels before or after working with your brand? Because we want to articulate those emotions up front so that they feel like we actually understand what they're going through. You were excited when you first began this journey and you have desperately wanted this business to take off. But nowadays, it seems like overhead is slaughtering your future vision. Is there any way to build sustainably without all of the upfront costs? What if you could save $7,000 plus right out the gate? This one decision will grow your brand with precision. Want to hear what it is? That's a permission-based sales approach, so we're not pushing anything on them. They're reading this page. We're asking them, do you want to hear it? Mentally in their mind, if they want to hear it, they're obviously going to continue reading. I've seen it time and time again throughout my 5 years in e-commerce. Businesses constantly think more products equate to more revenue. What frustrates me the most is seeing people just like you place their entire life savings into their business without understanding one core principle. The idea of an MVP, aka the minimum viable product. We talk about this a lot on my podcast as well, but typically in a service provider sense. The idea of an MVP, aka the minimum viable product. Walk with me for a moment. What if your signature product from your soap collection or one main hair care product, one main jacket could plunge your business into the next 2 tax brackets? So this is future storytelling, future pacing. This is super important for your sales pages to have so that you can have that optionality of someone beginning to see, okay, these are the possibilities that are on the horizon when I work with this entrepreneur. See, you and I are not Walmart or Target. And on top of that, we don't have millions in venture capital to throw at inventory. Next call to action, I'm ready to stop guessing. Start the MVP course. So they would go ahead and click that to get it. Then we have a review, a testimonial. And then we have a short video that she filmed. So you can tell this entrepreneur is very much engaged in her own marketing strategy. This isn't the type of entrepreneur that's like, I want you to do everything and we're not gonna go on calls together and that's not how this works. Let me just tell you that. You are not the right client to work with. www.tiffygwrites.ai, www.tiffygwrites.co. If you think business is supposed to be, let me just throw it on somebody else. None of my clients do that. All of them, whether they're 8-figure earners, 7-figure earners, or multiple 6 figures, they are in the business, working on the business. One of my clients actually, I'll divert a little bit, but she had scaled so quickly after we started implementing her email campaign. So she hired a sales team, but then she had to fire a few people from the sales team. And so she is the founder, the principal CPA attorney, had to go in and go on sales calls again like it was 2006 in her firm. And she didn't just say, well, somebody else is going to take care of it, or I'm not going to do that. It's her business. Like, she understood, and this is something you should understand too. In business, you don't really get that luxury of, I'm not going to do it. It's your firm, your business. You have to do it. You have to be the one to be accountable, to be productive, and to see this thing through. So Edwina continues. She has another video. I like how she does this. And this is the wonderful thing about adding on a marketing director fractionally, seasonally, somebody that you work with in Q4 of whatever year, in Q1, and then you're like, okay, I can ramp up real quick and make my profits and my return on investment and exceed that return on investment and then hire them back on. When you have a marketing director, and I can speak to this myself, as someone that has hired copywriters, graphic designers, operations managers, business consultants in my firm, when you are hiring somebody on at that high level that can execute, it will help you so much, because she was able to say, okay, I'm not going to focus on the sales page copy and the email copy. Instead, her focus was on design and how can I add in videos to elevate this experience. This is what marketing truly is, because when you're in a corporation and you're a consultant for that corporation, you're working with the team, you're elevating the team, but it's not just you doing everything. It's not just the team doing everything. It's a team sport. So if nobody has told you here before, or if you were thinking business was the type of thing that's not a team sport, business is a team sport. It does not always look like having 15 people under you. A lot of times for these high profit, high growth entrepreneurs that I work with, global entrepreneurs that have businesses in multiple territories, for them, it looks like, let me bring in this strategic advisor that's going to take my marketing and my sales to the next level that I would not have been able to do alone. Now, I'm not going to read the whole page. It truly is 7 to 10 pages, and it's converting beautifully. I love that. And, you know, we're going to do 90-day, 180-day, 1-year post check-ins to see the full, like, return on investment, see how everything goes, see how she's going to upsell, because that was something else that we did during our engagement together. I was coming in as that coach consultant to say, you know what, after this, you need to upsell. You need to do $1,000, a $2,000. This may even lead people to want to hire you again for ads. So you need to have these pathways open. That's what email marketing is for. That's what her sales sequence is for. And it is a bit advanced, because if you are someone that's not like Edwina, that didn't know all this stuff about marketing and how advanced certain tactics are, and you try to place a VA in that role, you will lose your money every time, because they don't understand lifetime value in marketing. They don't understand retention metrics, how to segment, how to create new business and sales pathways to increase your revenue, even in World War III. I want to make that very clear. But this is the last section I'll read. Welcome to the MVP course. This is like signature. We always do this with the sales page. We're introducing the course, but we do not introduce it too early. The entirety of this sales page was not about Edwina, not about the MVP course. It was about her client, what they were going through. Where you stop bleeding cash through aesthetics. Inventory is 15K, packaging 2K. Photo shoots 5K, websites 5K, branding decks, endless drain on your new business, all before the market ever proved it wanted the product in the first place. Ugh, this is so dangerous. The MVP course exists to interrupt that pattern. This program is designed for early stage founders who feel the pressure to look legitimate before they've earned the momentum. If you've been told you need a full collection, a perfect brand identity, more photo shoots, thousands of dollars in inventory before you can sell, this course is your reset. Because visibility drives sales, not aesthetics. What MVP actually means in this course. MVP stands for minimum viable product, and so we're doing some education now so that they understand what the course is. We're about halfway through this page, and I was so excited to show you this. I'm gonna leave the link in the description down below, especially if you are someone that has a fashion brand, has a clothing brand, has an e-commerce brand, and you can work with Edwina on that, because she is so good with ads. A lot of you guys that need those ads for those e-commerce businesses, she is so good with that. She is amazing with that. Her case studies are simply fantastic, which is part of what you would get in this course. But if you want to read the rest of the page and see that sales page copywriting in person on your phone, I will leave the link below. Check her out. We go through and have the introduction of who she is, how this course does not promise overnight wins, the 3 silent mistakes costing e-commerce brands thousands in 2026. So if you want to know all that stuff, the cost of these mistakes isn't just financial, it's emotional. Like the copy was just pristine, added in, hey, what this looks like 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now. So this makes it really easy. This is why within a couple of days, 48 hours over this past weekend, she was able to begin to sell out this course by just running ads for 2 days. A lot of entrepreneurs understand if you are an ads agency, then you know that typically you'll run ads for a couple weeks before they get someone that's ready to purchase, because you're testing and targeting the demographic. But this converted so well, and a huge part of that is the sales page. The next part of that is the automated 12 email sequence that they get right after they get this course. So it's building her email list, building up her new clients, building up her high ticket offers. And on that, that's a wrap. That's it for this video. It's so exciting. I'm so happy for her. I'm so glad entrepreneurs. There are some entrepreneurs out there, the remnant of smart businesses out there that will exist beyond 2030, who understand I can use AI for analytics. I can use AI for editing, but the judgment and the creative will always belong to humans, and they protect that art form. And so if you are also one of those entrepreneurs that wants to protect that art form, or if you're interested in learning this process, check out the link in the description, because I do have on March 22nd an intensive that I'm doing for 90 minutes to show behind the scenes my internal Notion AI dashboard and my agentic marketing workflow, so that you can properly run analytics for your clients, properly run analytics for your business. Or if you're like, girl, I want the sales page and the emails because I need to have my course, I need to have my services, my CPA services, my tax relief, my marketing, my whatever services pop off in 2026 and beyond, go to www.tiffygwrites.co. I cannot wait to speak with you. Remember, I only can take on a couple of clients per month. And so if that is you, you want to go ahead and do that Zoom call application. I'll see you next time.